Hi, and welcome back to Grace-Based Christian Coaching, where we help faith-first women build lives that are directed by God and not driven by anxiety. I am your host, Alexandra Kevel. I'm a Christian life and leadership coach for women who are carrying a lot and want to walk in more peace, more clarity, and more purpose. All right, so today we are talking about when you feel most alive with the Lord and how to live that out. So if you've been noticing more about how other people are alive and on fire in their faith and work and life, but aren't sure how to make that happen for you, you are in the right place. And you know what? Maybe that kind of stings to hear. Like, I want this, but why? Or how has it not happened yet? If that's you, there is no shame. I've absolutely been there myself, and I know that it can feel and be all consuming at times. But I want to encourage you that you are in the right place. So get excited. God has something to speak to you through this, and you're going to be different on the other side of listening to this episode. By the end of this conversation, you're going to know what to do to tap into God's best for you uniquely. And that brings about a life worth celebrating and worth living. So the clients I work with, they are uber successful. They are growing like crazy. They are trendsetters. They are women that you might even look up to yourself. Yet they can still struggle with feeling like they're not enough or could be doing better. And that most definitely, it doesn't feel good. I know. In Romans, Paul talks about wanting to do good, but wrestling with this sin inside of him, saying, I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do, but I hate what I do. So maybe you can relate. Maybe that sounds familiar. And what I'll offer to that is that, sure, those thoughts can certainly be normal, but they don't have to dominate the way you think or the way you live. Yes, it is time to notice them and it's time to release them and to let the Lord's plan for you be what drives you forward, because that is the one worth following. And to be honest, the fulfillment of anything else does not even compare. Okay, so let's notice a name. Where am I placing my focus? Because what you focus on expands. So years ago, a little story, I despised public speaking. Like, I still have a vivid memory in the seventh grade getting up in front of the class, and the teacher had pity on me. I could not get through it. I could not get through it. I was so stressed, so uncomfortable. She said, let's try again another day. I mean, y'all, it was bad. And then I just remember that carried on, right? It carried on. And I would think about how I would trip up my words. I would worry about what would people say? What would people think? There was so much pressure for perfection that if I didn't get every single thing right, I was a failure. I would consider what were the negative things that were going to happen because of how I was messing up. It was toxic. And you know what? And then it didn't, that it didn't matter if overall, if what I shared was well received or how I delivered the message or presentation, even if it did go well. Can you guys relate to that? Even if everyone around you is saying, oh my goodness, good job. That was so powerful. Thank you for sharing. Yet here you are, fixated on the one or two things that you could have done different, that didn't go perfectly, that you could have done better. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. So over time, instead of being consumed by my performance, which I was convinced would be negative, what began to shift was that I became excited about how God would speak through me. I became focused on crafting a message that would bless and serve my audience instead of being driven by a perfect delivery so that I could look like a rock star. Dare I say, at the heart of my experience, it began to live there. It was fun. There was fun, and there was no longer fear. So now choose your best next step. What is the Lord inviting you into? Maybe it's something that you didn't know from the outset was actually the next big thing. Maybe it makes you uncomfortable, but that's okay. So, what I'm going to encourage you to do is through the situation, get excited about how God is moving through it. So, maybe if you're needing to hire, what growth might be on the other side of this? If you need to have a hard conversation, consider whether it be at work or in personal life, what new skills, what new confidence What perhaps depth of connection might come through this? Um, you're creating, you finally are having momentum and you're moving forward in a direction. That is exciting. Maybe you have a big goal that requires you showing up consistently. How fabulous is that? You are building a new muscle and proving to yourself that you can show up regularly and do hard things. Are you ready? Like, this is the heart of the episode. This is your it question. When do you feel most alive? When do you feel most alive? How has God uniquely designed you, his daughter, to come alive? Who are you with? Where are you at? What are you doing? For me, I realized when I feel most alive, it's when I'm spending time planning, when I'm reflecting, when I am goal setting. I mean, it's kind of perfect and obvious as a Christian life and leadership coach. But yes, it's just this flow state, this joy. Planning, it hit me recently, a few months ago. Planning, reflecting, journaling, this is how I connect with God. That is the fullest connection, I will say, when I experience some of the most alive moments with Him. Some of my earliest memories are actually sitting in church. Some of my earliest memories doing this are to be in the house of God. And yes, yes. Do I wish I was more fully focused on the sermon? Yes. I was young, granted. But I just remember just feeling this peace, this light, this hope as I would plan the week ahead, think through an upcoming trip, share my notes with my dad. There was peace, there was possibility, there was his presence. So, what makes you come alive? How do you experience the most joy, peace, purpose? Are you serving? Are you connecting? What are you doing? Hearing from Him for me through reflection, through planning, that is an ultimate spark of joy. So, think about what that might be for you. And then use that superpower, that gift from above that He has given you, that ignites a fire, a passion inside of you to breathe life into other believers in an area, in a space in which they need it. You know, come on. This is a call. This is an anointing. This is a commission. So think about what that is for you. A few recap questions, y'all. One, what do you do that makes you feel most alive? Two, what's important about that? What is the impact? What is the value? What is the gift in it? Next one, what would it look like to honor this? If instead of you maybe shrugging it off, this is something silly or, frivolous or everyone's like that, like take some time and think about what is profound about this. How might this influence others' lives? Next one, what would it look like to prioritize this passion? What if you gave it more of the attention? What if you stewarded this gift and this talent as the Bible calls you to? And then get excited thinking big picture for a moment here. How might it grow God's kingdom for good? Yeah, it is time to move. What if this is the year you gave focus, attention, and life and your growth to God? What if instead of trying to experience life or work like she does, what if you instead tapped into the Lord's design for you? How He uniquely wired you to light up, to connect with Him, and to serve others. Imagine what might unlock then for His good and His glory. Y'all, so if you're not already subscribed to the podcast and our YouTube, do that for the best Christ-centered encouragement. We all need people to speak and breathe life into us. And my hope and prayer is that this is an avenue where it does that for you. And if you've not already, to continue to get this message, these conversations into the earbuds of other ambitious women who love the Lord just like you, I'd ask if you would please take just 30 seconds to leave a rating for the Grace Based Christian Coaching Building a Faith First Life and Business podcast. That would mean so much. I take time, effort, and energy to pour into this for you. And if you would just take a moment to do that, it would mean the most. I read every review, and it's truly a gift to hear from y'all. And then last but not least, if you're feeling a fire in your belly and you want to go deeper to live out your most intentional Christ-centered life and let go of your limiting beliefs, leave them in the rearview mirror. This is your personal invitation. Visit our website, gracebaskedchristiancoaching.com. Hit the book online tab. Learn more about what it would look like to get together, apply for your clarity call, and let's see how we can support you in living focused, living alive, and living connected to Christ. So good to chat with you.